Hold up, this can't be right. What are you doing here? Did they think this was a dupe? Let's take a look inside. Okay, stay calm because this is a vintage Coach bucket bag in the color bone. She's a classic from the 80s and part of the lightweight collection. I can't believe she was just hanging there for $4.99. She reminds me so much of Miss Whitney Blue, who was made 6 years later. Miss Bones is tired and worn out, but that's all about to change with a little spotting. For lightweights, I flip them inside out for a more thorough clean using the brush head of my vacuum. I'm tidying up the loose ends and fuzzies, then I'm giving it a final wipe down with a gentle suede cleaner. Now, due to our light color, I'm using a white saddle soap instead of yellow to avoid any possibility of discoloration. Alright, you know the drill. Lather it up with a damp horsehair brush and work in sections, wiping it all off with a clean microfiber cloth. Miss Bones has been holding it together for 30 years, but looks like she's finally had enough and snapped. But it's okay because we'll help her pull through with a little CPR, for leather of course. Let's treat her to a nice relaxing massage and buff it all out with a soft horsehair brush. Don't forget about the bottom and the straps. I'm using a tiny bit of healing balm on the stress points and scratches. This can darken the leather, so I'm using a very small amount. Then let's polish up the hardware with some Brasso. The straps were in rough shape, so I re-burnished the edges with some beeswax. The friction will warm it up and allow it to melt into the fibers. And now it's time to put a ring on it. I have these brass jump rings. They're a little bit smaller, but I think it'll work. I'm using jewelry pliers to open and close up the jump ring back onto the zipper pull tab and slider. And because I'm not really into crossbodies, I'm shortening her strap to turn her into a shoulder bag, similar to the re-released Ergo from a few years ago. As a reminder, here's what Miss Bones looked like before, and here she is now, looking clean and back to life. White leather bags are notoriously difficult to restore, but it's the imperfections that tell her story. I love wearing her as a shoulder bag, but the extra long strap was kind of bothering me, so I accessorized it with this vintage Coach scarf. First I braided it, then I wrapped it around the straps, and honestly it kind of gave the bag a whole new vibe. Also, I still can't get over the fact that these bags were made 30 years apart. Just goes to show that a little TLC can go a long way. What do you think?